Hello and welcome to the commentary for the TV The Tomorrow People. My name is Peter Vaughan Clark. I used to be in the TV series The Tomorrow People, but not anymore. I'm with the people that are. Mr. Mike Holloway and, of course, the inevitable Mr. Nicholas Young. Hello to you both.
Hello.
Hello. When you say inevitable, what do you mean? My comments?
I mean, you're always in it.
Right.
You're the rock.
You're
Nick,
the
you
rock
see.
of the Tomorrow People.
Johnny's the rock.
So I'm the butler, am I?
Now, where was this filmed? Can you remember?
High Wycombe.
High Wycombe?
Yeah, near High Wycombe. There was a gliding airfield. That's right, isn't it, Mike?
It was a very strange thing mentioning gliding airfield because it all came about because I said I like gliding. I remember so vividly well in rehearsals.
I thought it was Sailing Close to the Wind, you said you were.
Sailing close to the wind,
Yes.
yes. Ha 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 ha. Very good.
My
And
word.
suddenly we had 3 or 4 episodes of gliding, which was wonderful.
What else did you tell Peter you liked?
Actually, Roger Price used to say he was always going to take me up in a helicopter.
Oh, yes.
So he got you up in a glider, Mike, instead. Now here we go.
Yes, Bert Kwok.
Bert Kwok, the
Yes.
famous
This
Cato.
was the pinnacle of his career. He went downhill after this. He did a Peter Sellers film, didn't he?
Yes, he didn't do too well.
Was it the Pink Panther, wasn't
Pink
it?
Panther, he was
Now
the
this
one
this
that
is
used to
this
surprise
is
him.
Sue Tai.
Yeah.
Now what's her name? I can't pronounce her real name.
Miss Sakokoba.
You're,
Was it?
you're correct.
I think so.
Musaka was her
Musaka.
name.
No, not moussaka. That's a Greek dish, isn't it?
Something like that, yes.
And this is her first.
Was she not Japanese in reality?
Oh,
She's not from Japan? Is that not right?
Well, it was all very vague as far as I was concerned, because
You mean she doesn't have a work permit?
I don't know if you remember, but
Ah,
we
it's a-
actually did some scenes sort of outside of her being on the set, because bless her, there was a few problems with lines and things.
I love that term, bless her. It's just you're about to deliver an insult.
My mind is joined with his.
Yeah, she was Japanese, but she was supposed to be a Buddhist. Where's she supposed to be in Nepal or somewhere? This wasn't it?
oh right.
But I do remember gliding for the first time, and I have to say it wasn't a very pleasant experience.
No.
Did you go up in this?
I
Did
did.
you?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, you
Oh,
went
yeah.
up.
And down, as
Excellent.
you can see.
That's me flying that now.
Are you actually flying it? No, you're not.
Yeah, he
I
had
wish
somebody.
I was.
He had somebody with him. But,
I knew Thames was cheap, but I mean,
yes, they couldn't afford a propeller.
No, they did take me up, and I actually felt quite sick and queasy after my first.
actually, I still am in it. That is my hand, isn't it?
Possibly, yes.
Hand acting, you
but
should
Hand
get
acting,
repeats.
So that's all I do.
Well known for your fist.
Cheers. Anyway, back to the proper commentary.
Back to the plot.
I'm going to.
Actually,
This day's going really well.
Flight of Fancy. Oh.
Yeah.
That might be a very telling title in view of what you've just told us, Mike. Now, you see, the plane is actually on the ground there, and there's a couple of stagehands tipping the wings left and right to make it look like it's flying.
That's a very good idea, really.
Yeah, very good. I never went up in it because I was even more terrified than Mike. The prospect of flying in something with no propeller.
Oh, it looks great fun.
But see that we're actually on the ground there, just being tipped.
You're on the grass.
I'm talking about his acting now.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a gold hat you're wearing there, Mike.
Yeah.
yes,
It
this
looked beige earlier.
And I'm not wearing a seatbelt, of course.
The link between our minds is broken.
Yeah, I mean,
That's the old set burning.
just to translate what she's saying, she's taking over Mike's mind, isn't she? That's what it's all about.
she's breaking out through communicating with me.
Yeah.
And this is the beginning of the breaking out process, I would believe.
For you,
Correct me, for her.
for her,
Beginning of her breaking out.
Yes.
Doesn't he look young there?
Yeah, didn't we all look young?
Bert Kwok.
I mean,
Good
some of us
heavens.
have aged better than others, but
Yes. Are they? They are little baldy cap things.
they're...
That's dreadful.
yeah.
They could have shaved their heads properly for the part.
Here we go.
Very colourful, this episode, wasn't it?
Quite a nice voice, actually.
Yeah. And as I remember, we all end up getting burnt on the rack, don't we, or something?
We do get frazzled.
Yeah, that's
actually,
right.
it gets quite
Nasty.
violent, actually,
Yeah.
this episode, I remember. Here we come. Landing.
So John lands the glider,
That's it.
saves Mike.
You did very well.
Not bad
So it's a very
landing.
smooth touchdown.
That's
I
after
better
one
with
lesson.
touchdowns than with touch-ups, really. Oh, that jacket of mine, yeah, that was my own jacket.
I
had
remember.
that.
You've still got it.
I have actually, yeah. It fell to
got-
pieces eventually. It's a shame because it was a nice jacket. I don't know where I got it from.
Oh, this is the
Plus.
probe.
The probe?
The probing.
More naked flesh.
Yeah, look, that was not heard
God,
of,
look at
really.
those flares. They're about 36 inches wide, aren't they?
Of course, your chest is now a bit more hairy.
A bit more hairy now. Yes,
So's the acting.
you can get Planet of the Apes.
Ah, Tim's balls have moved, haven't they? Because they used to be dangly bits, and now they're on the surface of the table.
How
aren't they?
old are you there, Mike? How old were you? About 16?
we're coming. No, we're only 15 here.
You're still 15?
15.
Just as well he didn't have a moustache with that shirt.
Now, what has happened to
That is the
lad?
first. That is the first ones with the coloured balls on the table, isn't it? So we can't play that chess game anymore.
No, you can't. And also, where'd the food appear?
Nothing. We
How
can't do
does
anything.
the food get on there
You
except
couldn't do
cuts?
anything without interfering with Tim's balls, it seems to me.
Now, what happened to the original lab? Why is it turned into Kew Gardens?
I think a lot of people will tell you there was a fire at Thames.
There was a fire.
Didn't we
wasn't
come back? Or you came back
Wasn't
from
that
the
the story?
galactic trip somewhere or something, and when we came back, the lab was in a state of
there?
disrepair.
Disrepair.
Yeah.
But I mean, the real reason why it was changed was because I think it got destroyed. Either that or they thought there weren't going to be any more and they
was it-
destroyed them.
Was it after the strike?
I think it was
think-
destroyed. I think
yeah.
at the start, that's why.
Probably. And then, because Harry Clark was the original designer, wasn't he?
And Elizabeth was brought back. Elizabeth was heavily pregnant at this point, and the only thing we could do was to shoot her from the neck up. So they had her on the galactic trig, so that we could only see her on television.
Good memory. You're quite right.
Word. Poor old Tim's on the floor.
It'll be interesting to
Yeah,
find out.
that was another innovation. Do you remember?
Yeah, no, I didn't do that.
I beg your pardon, you weren't in it. I'll
The
address.
hand was there.
there for the damn.
I'll address my comments to Mike, who was. Do you remember that, Mike?
I do actually.
Or
yes.
did you? Were you never in it when we had the belts? Were you lucky enough to be belt and band?
I was belt and band.
belt and band, but Peter was only.
I was only belt.
Right.
But
Yes.
the wristbands didn't take off and you went back to belt.
That was a dreary idea, wasn't it? So were the balls on the table, really.
Yeah.
Well, yes. I mean,
But he moves, doesn't he, Tim? He just wanders around on that.
Yeah. He does a bit. Yes, you're quite right.
Oh, my
Now,
word.
who was that
The
actor
ceremony of rebirth.
on the left?
Sutai has found the lost god Kishnu.
What's his name?
He was in the
quick research.
Research, yes. I should have
Somebody
read the
will-
credits,
yes.
actually.
We should have the website near us so we
Yeah.
can just tap in and find
He's a
out.
marvellous actor. His own beard.
Was it his own beard?
Form,
No.
the gods cannot fly, no more than can you or I. Sutai might be. I hate.
Where did all the Oriental
She might be
bit
right.
come into it?
I believe it was because
Was
Vic
Roger-
Hughes rather took a shine to Sutai.
Ah.
We need to explain who Vic Hughes was.
And Vic Hughes was the producer and the director, I think,
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
time. And therefore came this concept of the Oriental feel. But as Nick said earlier, some of the sets and the action in this is quite nice and quite effective.
The story's quite clever because it ties in Eastern mysticism with Tomorrow People telepathy, and it all ties up very well, really.
Let us hope.
Poor old Vic, I remember when we rehearsed some of these. He got a parking ticket, and his whole year was ruined. And it wasn't so much that he had to pay the fine as the fact that his wife was going to kill him. Remember? No, you won't remember. Sorry, I keep forgetting you weren't in it.
I remember him. I remember
Do you remember? Do you remember that?
No, I don't actually remember. You've got a very good memory at this time. I do remember at some point through this, whether it was this one or the previous one, being left suspended in the studios. We may have touched on this before.
Yeah, we
on
did
the
touch on
wires,
it,
on
yeah.
the Kirby's.
That was deliberate.
That was deliberate. Of course, it was.
Yeah,
Well, they're milking the old glider, aren't they? I suppose it cost them a bit.
Do you not remember where this was filmed, Mike? It
High
at-
Wycombe.
It was
Right,
at
yeah,
High Wycombe. Yes, it was.
definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a glider club or an airfield there.
I think it's still there, actually. Sure. Yeah, because the other thing is we have to.
There you
in One
are.
of these, at the end of this episode, Mike ends up crashing.
You look like you're going to be sick, Mike.
Yeah.
I tell you, there's proof. I didn't wear well up there. Oh, it's too smooth. When you've got an engine roaring behind you, you feel safe. But
Yeah.
when you're just flying on air,
Yeah.
it's a bit of an unnerving experience.
Sure. But it was interesting because this glider dismantled. So when we had the crash scene at the end, all they had to do was take the glider to bits and just
Right.
put the various bits around the train.
Oh, I see. Now you've got to go back up in the air to have this contact.
Correct. The only way
So you keep going up until you crash.
I don't
Oh yeah.
heed the warning.
I think rather like PVC's career, really, what goes up must come down.
And eventually
Absolutely. And crashes.
crashes and burns, and then, oh well, I'm doing all right now anyway.
Yes, it must be so.
It must be so.
Very pretty frock, that, isn't it?
It's very colourful.
From mortality and death.
But they do tend to go back to the same shot, don't they?
You'll be all right this time. I hope so. Just take it easy, that's all.
Up you go.
I'm on my own now, look.
Solo.
Oh, Nick, you're getting very butch.
It's a very noisy glider.
Roger
Oh, I
was.
see you've got a plane.
I've got to be towed up, you see.
Yeah.
Towed up and then released.
I've actually done gliding once on a catapult. You got a catapult one, then they just
Oh, yeah.
shoot you up.
Good heavens.
Oh.
Won't go into that now.
No. Was Roger? He was just producing this, not or writing it rather.
I don't think he directed it. I think we decided it was Vic Hughes, didn't we?
I think it was Roger writing
Hey,
and
look at her, that
Vic
was
producing
very
and
cool.
directing.
She sees sky.
Far below.
Satellite TV 30 years ago.
In the sky, the God Kishnu.
Now, did they change the scripts at all to try and make her sound legible rather than illegible?
You're
Legible, isn't that to do with writing?
All right, yeah, probably.
Comprehensible, isn't it?
Comprehensible, then.
Yes, to distinguish her vocabulary. We're all
And
struggling
Mike
this
too,
morning.
yes.
No, you're quite correct in your statement. There was a
They
lot
did
of problems. Bless her, she did try.
The truth of it was that we'd read the script and we didn't know what she was talking about. So what chance the audience had, we just...
Or we'd shoot a long scene, and then bless her, her little bit would go wrong, and then
her
we'd have to
little
go all the way back. I remember overtime. Do you remember all that?
Yeah, but she wasn't the only one to forget her lines. I may have been the only one to remember them, but she wasn't the only one to forget them. Was she, Peter?
Yeah, I used to hand them out. I didn't like doing paragraphs.
Occasionally they were similar to the script as well.
Really? Yes.
Now what's happening
I
now?
grabbed the
We're back-
wing here, I think you just...
That's right.
As in-
Oh, you're fit then, Nick. Look,
Yeah.
you managed that 100-metre sprint there quite nicely.
Except there was 100 yards in those days.
Fine. Yeah, I feel fine.
I linked mind with the God Kishnu. He was flying.
Flying?
Yeah, I
The
got that
gods
one.
cannot fly when in their earthly form, Sutai. You know so.
He was flying above the clouds inside a great bird. I could have killed him.
Killed
You ever been described as a great bird before?
How could you?
No, many things, but not a great bird.
No.
This is interesting.
Well,
I did as we
I'm quite speechless at this particular...
She told you to get out... No, you told her to get out of your mind.
As it goes, I can only contact her when flying. Hence, when you barred me from flying, you had no choice but to let me go.
Oh, is that what it's all about?
Gone very green, the lab now, the beige.
There's my trousers, look.
Oh,
I think she's one of us.
all those plants everywhere.
Tell you her name?
Sutai.
Sutai.
Sort
I've
of.
heard that name before. Tim, get
Oh,
online.
my
with the
word.
breastfeeding computer, see
Yeah,
what
the
you
balls
can
are
find
better in the air, aren't they?
They're much
I think
better
so.
in the air.
I think
Definitely.
dangly bits were much more interesting.
Silver worked in the lab as well, I think.
About 14 or 15 years ago.
That long ago.
I think the lab looks nice, but Tim should have stayed up in the air.
So this basically is a two-hander between, as far as the Tomorrow People goes, because Liz is obviously up in the galactic.
Yeah, a galactic trig. Having babies.
What was it like, basically, just being the two of you in an episode? It must have been quite nice, actually.
Well, actually-
because you knew you
felt-
were going to get close-ups.
I felt
I wasn't going to
the,
go to the new French kid.
All we had to fight for was the BCUs.
The what?
Big close-ups.
Oh, the big close-ups.
I think the quality of acting probably improved, don't you think, Mike?
I think it did,
I
actually. I
think
think
Yes,
we were a good
I
duo.
totally agree with you, actually, Nick. It did go up, you know,
Yeah.
obviously, raised a gear.
Genuinely, I think
It's me and Dean.
It does have a different feel to it from the earlier ones, though, doesn't it? Don't you think?
nice bit of quality coming
Yeah,
here.
it's a bit of woodwork there instead of all that plastic. And as you say, the plants are obviously very ecologically minded.
Yeah, it's very green.
The god they were looking for, but never found.
Just a minute, you don't believe all that superstitious mumbo-jumbo, do you?
I don't know, it might be quite fun, really. Having
Oh, hello. Might be quite fun.
Just as well we're not filming this on Hampstead Heath with John's white sweater there.
Yeah. Probably still got that. Those wrist jaunting belts.
I've got everything, Peter.
Right, Tim?
Oh, look, the different colours.
So actually, there was a game based on that. You just sort of press the colour and then remember the sequence. Do you remember? What was it called? Simon. Remember Simon?
Simon Says?
Yeah, it was a game that was out this sort of time. Child murders.
Do you remember who designed the set for this? Well, we'll find out at the end.
Was
No.
that not Peter? Was it Peter?
It's Sue Ty's one.
I don't know.
Peter was the regular designer at the
Was that
time.
Harry Clark used to do the first lot? Who designed the first lot?
Who cares about the set?
Yes, us.
Yeah,
It's us that
stars.
counts.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yes, I was going from one wooden object to another.
How's the expression again?
Nice one.
Talking about the set, there's something wrong with your acting. I think that was the expression.
Something.
wasn't it?
Yeah. Something along those lines.
Yeah.
No, but I think this
He's an awful lot of brittle cream there, hasn't he?
this run of episodes was quite intriguing. There was a good story running through.
Never known such a thing.
Yeah, as I say, tying up Eastern mysticism with telepathy was a very good idea.
Our gods are children, Master.
Yeah, there you go.
He's an old cynic, this bloke,
Yeah.
isn't he? He knows perfectly well that they're not
They are
gods.
children. They do as they are told.
Yes, they can be manipulated.
We never allow our gods to grow to maturity. If we did,
Yeah, I think we started filming these after the first big strike.
Yeah.
Going back to your point about the set and why we had it, the more I think about it, I think that's what
They
happened.
probably, as Nick says, because they store them and they cost them money and they haven't got the space, so they destroy them. It's cheaper to build them back again.
what
And,
do you think she would do? What do you really think she could do? Who decides, even the day of her death?
Rebirth, not death.
All right.
now, there is a theory that the actress that plays Sutai is no longer with us.
Not.
I don't know, I can't comment on that, I have no idea. I did hear a rumour that sadly she was killed in a car crash, but I don't know whether that's true or
These
not.
ideas are new to me.
Think on it. Any peasant boy will do to house the spirit of Kishnu.
Well, she's here in spirit.
Here in spirit,
yeah.
absolutely.
You care to name?
Well, maybe the fans could help us with information along those lines because I'm sure they know
Yeah,
more
I
than we
don't think
do.
they do. I don't think anyone really. I think it's all Chinese whispers, really. I should
Oh,
probably.
Japanese whispers. The program was sold to Japan, wasn't it?
It was sold everywhere.
Yeah, it did go to Japan.
Ty.
That's the thing. I
So
got
somebody must know the outcome.
I got 2p an episode, I think, for that.
Ah,
That's no good. I can't make contact.
Well, have you met her yet? How do you know her name?
because I'm telepathic.
What do you mean?
Have you spoken to Sutai yet?
He's
I've
already
told
he's told me her
John.
name. Pay attention, please, BBC.
Yeah.
He told me, Mike told me that her name was Sutai, because I said, oh, Sutai, that name rings a bell. And he said, you can remember 14 years ago? And I said, I have a perfect
look.
memory.
Ah.
You see?
Well,
I've got to go up again, you see?
Why didn't I do Head and Shoulders commercials? That's what I want to know.
Time for your
Didn't you?
rebirth is
Head and
at
Shoulders commercials.
That's what you did.
ready.
You would have got a buy out there for 2 years,
I didn't
no
know.
problem.
To find it and bring him back to you, Matstan.
Who?
Do not think.
Matan.
That's
With a little
How many episodes did she do? She stayed to the end,
mind,
did she?
the end that have mind.
No, I think she just did one. I think she only did one series.
Right.
Oh no, because we've got the Hawaiian one coming up with Sutai as well, haven't we?
that's
And then
right.
I think she phased out when Nigel came in.
Right.
About
Yes.
that time.
It is
About
too
that
high
time.
price to pay.
Oh, Matstan.
There. It is nothing. We shall be together again soon, after you are
It's great
reborn.
having Burt
You will
Kwok
see.
in with the Tomorrow People, though, isn't it?
Well, we had some. I mean, a lot of very famous actors had their big break in the Tomorrow People,
Indeed.
didn't they? And others were broken by it.
Search for myself. I will go to the ends of the earth and beyond if necessary. I will find you.
Nicholas Lyndhurst was another.
Yes,
who's
he's
he?
in- Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we only had. Yeah, oh yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. Yes, that
Yes,
fella.
he was in the
Yeah.
German one.
Yes.
He pops up in Hitler.
That's right. And did we not get an extension or some kind of extra privilege filming these, which is why we had a little bit more set and more time to film? Was this not when Vic fought for an extra day in the studio or something along those lines? And
Man, this really does work. You know, you really do think you're up there. I mean, when you analyse it, the thought of a cameraman standing on the wing at 10,000 feet is not very realistic.
It's not
but-
very
yeah,
realistic.
but it,
No,
does,
look very
it
good. yeah.
works.
unless she's got a very good
There's
lens.
not even a tree in the background.
Of course, what's not realistic about it is the fact that the plane is moving and the cameraman is not moving in sync with it. So what's he standing on? Do you see what I mean?
Well, they're just rocking the shirt. The,
Well, exactly. We're
trail
doing it on the ground. That's the point I'm making. That's how you can tell we're on the ground.
Clever stuff.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, we'll have another go tomorrow, Mike. If the weather breaks, you can go up on your own.
Fine.
I have a message from Elizabeth, John. She wonders if she could have one of the new jaunting bands.
Well, yes, of course. Let's go to the workshop. and make-
Jaunting bands.
Yes.
I can jaunt it to her later.
So I don't have any in stock, apparently. I have to go and make every one.
to go and
Yes.
Going somewhere, Mike?
Yes.
Yes, Tim.
Might I inquire where?
Oh, yeah.
I'm
you're
always
going off
doing
without
this.
permission. Yeah.
Ow, that's all.
Ow, on with that. Ow, ow,
That's all. That's all.
Ow.
That's
Yeah.
it. Ow, that's all.
The rollback and mixers got very good there.
Hey, you can take me out. It's very rough, Mike. That's okay, I can head.
Couldn't breathe.
And that bloke wasn't...
That is quite painful by the looks of it.
That pilot was not an actor, but in this show you couldn't tell the difference.
Oh, here she comes.
Oh, yeah,
Good
well,
costumes.
Yeah.
Very effective.
I wonder who bought those afterwards.
Probably end up in Joseph, these costumes.
That's,
that's very true.
Yeah, that's the frame we were going to get fried on.
Ah, there's the big...
Because
Barbecue.
in fact, I remember there was on the paperback books on the front cover.
That's
it's
right.
us on the grill here.
It's a deep purple cover,
It's a
isn't
sort
it?
of Burger King type shot, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Come and get fried tonight.
So the idea is to burn her.
To be reincarnated, I beg your pardon. Reborn.
Reborn.
To be
yeah.
reborn.
Be reborn, yeah.
As he's saying.
That's
Not
why
one
he-
hair of the head shall remain.
That's why he doesn't buy the story about
I didn't
her.
know J. Arthur Rank made this production, did you?
That's very effective. Look.
Very good.
Wouldn't be allowed to show that now.
Oh, there we go.
Bunsen burners.
Bunsen
Yeah.
burners in front of the camera.
Yeah. Here she is doing her Joan of Arc impression.
But you see, if I hadn't have gone off like that, I'll save her now because I've gone off. I connect with her and then sense danger.
Well, you're giving the game away now.
You see, although John is telepathic, he's so stupid he doesn't realise that you've gone off.
Yes.
Or where,
There are these
or
little
where
loop-
you've gone.
Exactly. There are these little loopholes.
Now, why has he lost his colour in his balls? Is he not feeling well?
He's got Tim flu.
He should have rosy cheeks, I would have thought.
Well, it's a bit choppy up there.
Well, they always said there was a big chopper in the air.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, is she being roasted yet? No.
Not even sweating, that's the amazing thing. It must be 130 degrees and she's not even sweating.
Oh, she's connecting again, you see.
Yeah.
Ah, here we
And
go.
I think you'll pick up on...
Got
You
terrible-
must do if you're telepathic.
She's got a terrible sneeze, hasn't she?
No. Sutai.
I have located Mike. He is at the...
Oh, look at those old things there that you used to buy. Actually, they're back in fashion, aren't they? Those oil lamps.
Yes.
How did Phil feel about
Very 70s thing.
being mobile? Did he...
Well, I suppose it was better for him from an acting point of view. At least he had some moves. And he couldn't bump into the furniture because he was the furniture.
Yes, that's true.
And now we're going for the big dive, you
You're
see.
going into what's they call a tailspin, isn't it?
Yes.
In aeronautical terms.
And he was very good,
And
this stunt
actually, this is where you crash, and then we have the rolling the drums and the credits. And here's the plane in pieces, just carefully laid out. I've arrived too late to help, haven't I?
Yeah, look,
Already it's crashed. Oh,
There you
my
go.
word.
It looks good, doesn't it?
it's very effective.
That is. That's very good. That's the end of episode 1.
How many
Yeah.
episodes
Yeah,
were there
Masako
in this?
Koba.
Yeah, well done.
Okay,
Good
well
memory.
done. That's little
Masako.
Phil.
Let's
So it
see.
is like the Greek dish.
But Quark, it is Quark. Or maybe pronounced
Robert
Quark, I don't
Lee.
know.
Robert Lee.
Robert Lee.
And what does that say? Campbell? What?
Campbell.
He was the consultant, wasn't he? Robert Lee.
I'm just going to see if it was Vic that directed this one. I'm pretty sure it was.
Very much so.
There we
Get there
go.
eventually. Christopher Evans was dead by then, wasn't he? Yeah, producer
Producer.
Vic Hughes, director, no, Peter
Peter
Webb.
Webb.
Oh, really?
Well, there's a
Never heard of
surprise.
him.